So you're probably wondering what I'm doing right now. Well, I wasn't really going to show any of you guys this, but after using it and getting some success with it, I figured it might be able to apply to a lot of people's lives. People who simply don't have a whole lot of room. It doesn't even matter about money, it matters about location. People living in super popular, crowded metropolitan cities, or just cities with small houses in general that don't have copious garages or yard space, and you have to do something portable in order to achieve your needs for the outdoors. For instance, this is just a simple Palm Prowler 8, a plastic boat you can buy from Bass Pro. It's a nice portable 1 to 2 person watercraft, but even it by itself is a huge pain to load in and out of your truck bed and push into the water. So I went and just on a whim made a makeshift trailer out of some scrap aluminum. This is a super raw, impulsive design, but its sole intent for creation was to fold and fit in the back of a truck bed or on top of this little Palm Prowler 8 that we modded out. We made the folding joint from a Fulton foldaway hitch that is a 2x3 receiver that folds and then locks with a pin. They're used to fold away the hitch receivers on boats so they'll fit in garages, and they hold a way bigger load than this boat, so it should be fine. This idea really kind of spurred off because I was using a kayak dolly, which fit very awkwardly and was honestly too overloaded. And I had seen kayak dollies kind of built on real light duty steel and wheels with like a handle to kind of hand cart them into the water. I thought that was pretty smart. None of them were foldable though. It would be pretty awkward to transport from A to B in a small vehicle. So I transported that boat and this foldable trailer in that 5-foot truck bed. The hardest thing was getting that boat onto the trailer from the truck bed. That was a bit of a pain, but I did cart it into the water and I stayed completely dry and I did it all by myself. That was the goal, and it worked really well. But this is not my primary boat. It's one of mine. I have other favorite boats like this Light Skiff Air, or even the traditional Light Skiff, which are just bigger, longer boats, can hold more gear and more people, but that will require a bigger trailer that has even more joints and supports. So this video is all about different variations on how to make a trailer like this foldable, whether it's a hand truck or an actual towable trailer like what you see here. The do's and don'ts of all of it. Stay tuned. You may have noticed just recently over YouTube and iCast that inflatables like this one have made a resurgence. And right now you're looking at the best one in my opinion that has been produced so far. This is the Light Skiff Air. What makes it exceptional is that it is heat welded, which is far better than inflatables bonded with glue. It is incredibly stable even with 2 heavy people on it. It has an 880-pound capacity. And that black lining on the bottom is an HD rubber, which is extremely resistant to shearing, abrasion, and punctures, all of it. But the best thing about it is the sheer portability. Being able to store in a bag like that, taken out, blown up, and it's fish ready in just a few minutes. Store that thing away in a closet, a garage, an RV, and then bust it out and get it ready and take it on the water. The extreme quality of the hull itself in conjunction with all the mods and add-ons we give you for it make this boat an exceptional watercraft. So check out the Light Skiff today, tbnation.net, search Light Skiff Air, or just check the links in the description or the products tagged in this video. All right, so this is it, guys. I know this is like, this design is whatever it is. I felt like with what I had for scrap, this was just easier to kind of put together. It was initially for that Palm Prowler, so I had this. I thought that would initially be enough to kind of be right there in the center of the tunnel for the catamaran style, but really it was very floppy. So it needed supports along the way. The one big long beam here wasn't just gonna do it all. So we had to make another additional support here, which we ran that long ways this way, and then pretty easy also to assemble. Anyways, you flip these out, support beams, and they're just lag bolts underneath, coated like lag bolts to keep away from having to make an 8-frame or something similar like that, where bunks would be needed. These are really just kind of like horizontal bunks going the wrong way, just to hold the boat in the crucial points that it needed to be held. And then on here, you actually have enough room to put a boat right on it. The only thing I would have liked to refine would be here where, you know, where do you anchor the front of the boat so it doesn't slide right off the trailer? The only thing I had was kind of this last minute, obviously very, very loosely put on here. It's just put on with some screws. I could take it off. I would have really liked to make like a fold up on this beam, something that kind of folded up and became a post with ways to mount different types of watercraft on it, but the post would be obviously here, And that can honestly still be done. It just was something I ran out of time on. I did turf this whole thing for one, so it would be nice for the boat to be on. The boat kind of sits on there, the hull doesn't get scratched or damaged, and it also, believe it or not, is kind of anti-slip once enough weight's on it. It also dissipates heat from the aluminum frame. These are 2x3 Fulton bolt-on fold-away hitches, meaning they do not need to be welded. They have these pretty serious jam nuts, pretty thick stainless hardware, and that actually does pretty phenomenally well. But I really was only able to get away with 2 because there is slight flex on these, no matter what size or whatever boat on there. There is a little bit of slight flex where it bends just like this, and that freaks a lot of people out, but it actually doesn't matter. That's just the way. There's just a little bit of play in the screws in the pin that allow it to kind of bind like that, but it's nothing about on strength. Like, it's not giving up or flexing or cracking or bending. None of that's happening. It's just the way it is. But because of that, I can really only do 2 joints. Gave myself a lot of tongue room to kind of give the trailer more stability. It seems like short trailers always jackknife real quick and cause a lot of problems. So I did want it to be as long as I could reasonably make it. That way it's a little bit more stable when you're turning. It actually just worked out pretty well. For all intended purposes, I would say 5, maybe 10 miles an hour. You might be able to take this thing. I wouldn't take this thing down a highway or even down a busy road. There's no trailer lights. This thing is not street legal, really. Very much a impromptu camping dolly, or, roughing it trip dolly that you can transport with your truck or a little UTV or something, like from your campground to the boat ramp or whatever. So lastly, we're going to show you how it actually did and what we possibly could have changed to make it better. Stay tuned.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, the trailer just kind of sits. It's underneath the bike, actually. You can just barely see the ends hanging out. So that bike, and then we just got all our other craft. Just sits right on top of the other skiff. So a 2-boat transport in this rig. So not too bad.